Morning, guys. It's me, it's Tiffany. You're here for day 2 of Tiffany TV. And you may be asking, why does this girl keep showing up in her bathrobe? But it's because I keep waking up in the middle of the night and not being able to sleep until I do this. So again, I woke up at 4:44, and not this time because of this, but because my dog needed to go outside. And then I went to go lay back down in my bed, and my mind was just like racing. And I could not sleep until I just got this done. So there's obviously something to that, because otherwise I'd be sleeping in the middle of the night. Okay, so let's have a little recap. Yesterday actually went way better than I thought it was going to. The sound was better than I thought. The light was better than I thought. My face was better than I thought. Being able to move smoothly through 30 minutes was better than I thought. It seemed as though it went sort of like easily and smoothly and flawlessly. And so that feels really good. I thought it would be a little bit more of a challenge, but I will say, as soon as I got it done, I was like very excited, and I was like kind of on fire. And then as the day went by, I started having more doubts and these thoughts creeping in my mind of like, who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? Nobody really cares. Nobody even wants to see you. And then I realized I need to revisit my why, because I'm not really doing it for anybody else. And if I really think about it, if I really think about it, my why is just for me. And my why is because I have a habit of not following through. And I have a habit of being really excited about something at the beginning. And then I have a habit of just, when it gets old and it's not so shiny and new, and it's like not the next thing, the next exciting thing, that I lose interest, and that I don't actually do what I say I'm going to do, and I don't follow through and finish what I started. And that is not going to be the case for this. I am doing it. I am doing 30 days of recording, 30 days of uploading, no matter what it looks like, no matter if anyone watches it, no matter if I say the wrong thing, no matter if I make a mistake, no matter if I accidentally say something that is wildly inappropriate, that lots of people do not like. I just, we're all human, and we all make mistakes, and we all do the best that we can. And this project, or this experiment, for me is more about, can you actually have an inspiration from divine and move in the direction that you know in some way is the best for your life at this moment? Can you actually move through the fear? Can you overcome the obstacles? Can you embrace yourself and love yourself exactly as you are through 30 days of cycles of your face getting worse and better and then worse again? Can you just hold yourself in light and love yourself exactly the way that you are right now? Yeah, so that's where I'm at. My why might change. I also, after visiting my mother yesterday, realized that I like to talk like her, except probably my husband doesn't want to listen to me all the time. So maybe this will fill my work quota for the day, and I will get all of my words out here in this setting, instead of going beep 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 to my husband. Fun, right? Okay, well, today we are going to talk about channeling. Oh, before we talk about channeling, I want to play a game. I listen to a lot of audibles, and right at the moment, I tend to listen to one author until I've listened to like every single thing that they've done, or like I overload myself on one person. So it's like the repetition of hearing that person, repeating their messages, teaching their lessons, and sort of like reinforcing what it is that they're bringing to the table really sticks in my mind. So right now I'm on a Joe Vitale kick, and I freaking love that guy so much. He is such an inspiration. What an incredible story. What a lot of value he has to give. And I just think he is such a legend. So I've added him to my hot shit list, which means that someday, in some way, he and I are going to cross paths. And I am definitely going to have some sort of experience with him because he is a legend. And once you're on the hot shit list, there is no turning back. I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But he had a thing that was on the Awakened Millionaire, I think is the one that I'm listening to right now. Oh no, it's The Secret to Attracting Wealth. So he says, why don't we play a game that is called the What If game? And my husband and I used to play this game a lot too. But when he was talking to me, he was like, there's something happening. Like, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen? And then I started thinking, I'm like, sure, we can imagine all kinds of worst things. And then you can say, oh, well, it's got to be better than that. But why don't we start imagining like the best possible outcome and then hope that it's some sort of version of that, this or something better? So we play the what if game, but it is what is the best that can happen, and then we just like imagine what is the best that can happen and then hope for some sort of version of that, and then just let the worst possibilities go. Because of course, like when you're imagining things and you're always imagining the worst thing, if you feed that and you focus on that, it is way more likely that that or some version of that will come into your experience because you are moving energy in that direction. So let's imagine, what's the best that could happen in this scenario with me doing Tiffany TV? Best that could happen. Well, I would say the best that could happen is that I finish 30 days and upload them all and then just let it go and have zero expectation of what the outcome is going to be, zero attachment to what is going to come of it, and then zero judgment of myself and zero judgment. Like, if nobody ever watches it, no big deal. If like 100 people watch it, amazing. If I get one more subscriber, I need one more subscriber so that I can channel live on YouTube, that would be a win for me. But what's the best that could happen? I would say it's that the algorithms choose to show my content to people who it could really, really benefit and who get some sort of value from me sharing my life and sharing who I am and sharing the lessons that I've learned in my life. And that in some way it inspires somebody to know the truth of who they are, to recognize their own divinity, to love and accept themselves exactly as they are, that it like motivates people to want to start their own journey of receiving guidance from divine, that maybe they also realize that they are a channel and that divine is showering all kinds of wisdom and insight on them, and then that they want to follow in the path of their best life. Yeah, I would say that's the best that could possibly happen in my mind. I'm sure there are all kinds of other bests. Like, okay, so let's get to the hot shits. You're probably like, what the heck is a hot shit list? And a hot shit list I got from my friend Bernice, who is a super amazing woman and has totally helped me in so many ways along my journey. But she said, yeah, you make a list of people that are like your hot shits, and who you think are really amazing, who you are inspired by, who you learn a lot from, and then you put them on a list, and then you say, someday in some way our paths are going to cross, and someday in some way we are going to come together. We are going to be attracted, and the universe is going to bring us together. So I have a hot shits 200 list. That's a lot of people, and there are a lot of remarkable, amazing people on that list. I will tell you who my top 10 people are for right now, who I really, 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 really would love to meet. So first one, number one, always, always, always in my heart is Drew Barrymore, because I have loved her ever since I was a little kid, and she is my absolute number one. Drew, I love you. Oh my gosh, who doesn't love somebody who loves something as simple as ice cubes? When you can have joy and gratitude in your heart and in your life for something as simple as ice cubes, I feel like you are my people. Okay, and then at the moment I really love Matthias Stefano. I really love Joe Vitale. I would love to meet Dr. Joe Dispenza. Blue of Earth, she's pretty amazing. Aubrey Marcus, he is like a pretty amazing dude too. I would say that so many people that are on my hot shits list are like amazing authors that I have read. They are people who I've seen maybe clips on Next Level Soul. Oh yeah, Alex Ferrari, he's definitely on my hot shits list. There are maybe people who have done really incredible projects, like passion projects, or people that have like done projects that are changing the world. So let me think. People who write some of my favorite books. Yeah, hot shits, you're out there. I'm totally gonna, all the stars are gonna align. Okay, so let's talk about channeling. Channeling is a form of processing white light, and what we understand is that if you go to a molecular level, that everything in existence is simply a form of light that is vibrating in a lower or higher density, and so everything that's around us is sort of like an illusion. And the matter that we see or feel or experience is actually just really dense and low vibration vibrating molecules, because when you get down to the lowest part, there's actually nothing there. It's like it's all just space, and the matter only appears where you witness it. So it's kind of trippy, like quantum physics is a mind bender. It doesn't really. Ooh, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he is definitely on my hot shits list. And so it's kind of like a mind bender, because the whole quantum physics things, they don't often make sense, but it's really like expanding our mentality to understand concepts that are going to be more and more frequent coming into our experience, because our brains are like starting to perceive and conceive completely new things that we never even thought possible before. So what happens? So we have a crown chakra that is related to our brain. It's on the top, it's like a flower, it's open like this, and when we open our crown chakra like this, it signals that we are open to receive that light that is going to stream into our brain. So our brains are constantly processing light through our eyes. That's how we're seeing, or the lack of light. So when you understand that red is not actually red, red is actually every color but red, but you perceive it as red because that's the one that is missing. So our eyes have been designed to do this really incredible thing, which is process light. And the way that we do that is the light goes into our eyes and then it goes into our brain. And our brains are basically like these huge data processing centers where we are just processing the information that is around us all the time. So channeling is like the next level of that, where you open up your brain not only to be processing the light that is coming through your eyes, but you can open your crown chakra to process light that is streaming in from above you. I use the Dira International protocol. That's how I learned how to channel, and it's such an incredible gift to be able to do a channel induction and then be able to shift into that vibration on demand whenever you want to. So once you do your 15-minute guided meditation, which is your induction, then you have a keyword through a process of self-hypnosis. Then you are able to revert back to that experience where you are in communion with source whenever you want, simply by repeating your keyword and then allowing the energy to shift. And that's when you feel the infinite light coming down from the sky, entering into the top of your head, streaming through your brain, giving you all kinds of amazing information. And then it moves through your body, filling your whole body with light. And then the access light comes out of your heart, and it's like a flow. It's like a river that comes into your head and out of your body, because you don't want to keep it all inside. You might explode, but you're like, the information is coming in, streaming in on light, moving through your body, and then coming out again. So the trick is that you really need to figure out how to interpret the light that is coming in. And that can be tricky. It can be challenging, because especially if you've never done it before, there are lots of ways. There are infinite ways to channel. It's not only one way or another way. It's not only this is the right way or the wrong way. We're all capable of channeling. If you have a brain, you are a channel. Whether or not your channel is open is another story. Whether or not you are blocked to receiving the insight and guidance from higher sources, whether or not you know that you're channeling and you know that the information that you are getting is in fact from a higher source, that's a whole other story. But if you have a brain, you are able to channel. There is no doubt. So you may know popular channels. I mean, this is not a new thing. People have been channeling since the beginning of the time. Like, there are indigenous people and native people who have been in communion with source and communion with God forever. Like, this is not anything new. There are lots of people that have used plant medicine to sort of give them the push to go beyond the veil and trust that something is actually happening to them. And, you know, it is becoming more and more and more frequent and more popular that people are just accepting that we are constantly in communion and in connection with source. And when you have that moment of realizing, I feel like everything changes. Like, everything from that exact moment on really starts like shifting and cascading in a new direction. So who are some of my favorite channels? Of course, my favorite channel of all time, who is channeling ever since the 70s, is Dolores Cannon. She is a legend. She's actually the teacher of one of my dearest and most beautiful friends, Alexandra. And Dolores, I remember the moment. I had never even heard of this woman. And I was at the pub that I worked at having lunch with my auntie and one of her friends. And he was like, oh, everything. And I was new to channel. Like, it was all so captivating. And I was just like, I can't even believe I found this modality. And he was like, oh, you should really read Convoluted Universe. And I had never even heard of this before. And then it just started this amazing, amazing time of me reading a lot of Dolores Cannon. For sure. She's amazing if you ever have a chance to see any of her videos. But then who else is there? There's like Daryl Anka. He's really popular right now, channeling Bashar. There's Sarah Landon. She channels the Council of Delight. There is Matthias DeStefano. He channels all kinds of entities. I mean, he's just like so incredible. Who else can I think of right off the top of my head? One of my favorites, Jane Roberts. She wrote a book called The Nature of Personal Reality, and she was channeling like in the 70s and 80s, and she channels an entity called Seth. There are all kinds of amazing channels, but more and more and more people are realizing that everyone is a channel. Like, every single person on earth is a channel. So if you can get to a point where you open yourself up and you are able to receive guidance and information and love, the feelings that you feel when it comes from the inside of you are just, it's so remarkable. The love, when you feel it on the inside, it's like we've been living without love for so long, so long. So when you feel it on the inside, it's sort of like magic. It really makes you feel like a totally different sort of way. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Dira. Dira International is located in Muscat, Oman. It is the organization that I learned how to channel with. I actually traveled there and studied there to do one of my first initiations in level 1, which is related to the root chakra. I did a 9-day level 1 with Lubna Kharusi, who is the founder of Dira International in Muscat. And she is, to be honest, I know I'm sort of biased because I love her, but she is the most beautiful channel I have ever seen in my entire life. And the moment that I was sitting next to her and she channeled for the first time that I ever saw anyone channel in my life, it completely changed me. Like, I was a different person, feeling the energy that was radiating from her in that moment. I knew immediately that something was about to be very different in my life. Yeah, so I went to Oman. We do levels that are related to our chakras. We start with level 1, where you basically get the basics of channeling. You learn how to do your channel induction. You process all of the things in relation to root chakra, so scarcity and fear and anything to do with physicality, your connection to the earth, all things that are like red spectrum. You really learn the processes of how to begin the releases in your life that will allow you to have the energy move through your energetic system freely and without blockages. Yeah, Dira is an incredible organization that I plan to work with probably for my whole entire life. I do believe that channeling is the way of the future. I do believe that Dira is an organization that is destined to teach people how to channel for themselves. I don't necessarily believe that it is about channeling, well, not that it's not about channeling for other people, but that it's more so about teaching people how to channel for themselves so that they can be empowered and they can do their own things, go on their own journey, receive it all within them, and then get the best insight and the best guidance from within them. You don't need an intermediary. For so long, we have believed we need somebody between us and God. And the fact is that that is not the truth any longer. Not any longer. Okay, I'm going to do the channel now. And what I would say is, if you have any questions at all, you can either private message me on TiffanyDIRA on Instagram, or you can look me up on Tiffany Price Marie on Facebook, and you can just send me questions and I'll be happy to channel them for you in later episodes. And I will ask the question, but I will also ask for Divine's perspective, because of course, when you get a perspective from a broader, all-encompassing point of view, it really changes how you see things. Okay, so I'm going to channel, and my question for today was, what is really going on here? Not here like Tiffany TV, but like here as in the earth right now and everything we're going through. What is really going on, and what insight can we be given about what is going on right now? Okay, thank you. I call on divine to be known to me. I call on divine to be known to me. Trust it is so. I am divine. We are one. So what we would say is that the collective of humanity is experiencing the greatest shift present in this time. That all of life has been moving toward this shift since the inception. What we would say is that this shift is imminent and apparent, and that at this point, with the momentum that has been built during several key points over the last few decades, let's say 50 years, that this outcome in this particular direction is now solidified and guaranteed to move in a particular direction. You as a collective have expressed your desire to move humanity in a new direction. You have committed and allowed the energy to be focused and moved in a particular direction that is now determining humanity's outcome in a way that it has never been experienced before. What we would say is that there is nothing to fear, that you can always choose love, that even in times of uncertainty and instability, of doubt and of questioning, that you can trust that from our perspective we see it all perfectly, and it will be better than you can imagine. What we would say is that you will catch occasional glimpses that you may call glimmers, that you may see a small snippet of what is to come. These are like the crumbs along the way that continue to lead you in the right direction. These are the reassurance that you are on the right path. These are the moments of hope that you can keep in your heart, in knowing that all that you perceive to be suffering is for the purpose of humanity rising into a new light, into a new way, into a new experience, into a new way of understanding and holding each other, in a new way of seeing all as unconditional love. We are grateful for your faith. We are grateful for your devotion. We are grateful for your commitment, in your relentlessness in pursuit of that which you know is possible. We are grateful for your love, for your love is our love, and our love expands with your love as your love expands with ours, that we are interconnected. That there is no separation. That we are in fact one. Trust it is so. Trust it is so. Thank you. Thank you, Divine. Thank you. I love you. Ciao for now.